Great.
Oh, they have benefits.
No, I guess your call said she's not going to.
Yes. Donna's never gonna say that.
Okay, I'll make you get one.
Attorney's not here.
Yeah, they do.
And Bob's not here. Where's Bob?
All right, let's call the meeting to order.
He had surgery.
DeWild,
Here.
Chisholm, absent. Thompson, absent. McSparren,
Here.
Mitchell. Here. All right, so we have three here. We have a quorum. The consent agenda. You know, that's not supposed to be there. We're going to amend the minutes, and so we might as well do that now, or in a consent, while we're going to approve the consent agenda instead of doing it later on. When we voted on the fire department, we used the wrong resolution number. We have to use the one that, the first time that we introduced it in March. Because that's, we voted on it 3 times, but that's the one that it was introduced. So we need to change the minutes from reading that resolution was 16.6.13.3. We need to change it to 16.3.14.3, which is when we did it. So that, I would entertain a motion that we amend, it's about the 3rd paragraph there. No, the 28E agreement, yes, down there, about the 4th or 5th paragraph, that number should be, we need to amend that number. Everybody see that on the minutes? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 6th paragraph from the top. If you count each, so there's 2 lines of the
The
paragraph.
16.6.13.3 is the one we're talking about?
Yes,
And it needs to be what?
16.3.14.3.
Numbers are in the,
Yeah.
it's on here on a different day. Okay. I'll make a motion to change our minutes to reflect resolution number 16.6.13.3 to become 16.3.14.3 as it should be.
Is there a second to that motion? Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. All
Aye.
those opposed, say nay.
Nay.
You're opposed to that? No.
Brian can't vote.
No.
Motion carries. Thank you. All right. Yeah, I have to remember to say that. All right. Well, that's done. Now then, for the rest of the consent agenda. I need a motion to approve the consent agenda as amended.
I make,
Anyone second it?
I will second.
Okay.
Correct.
I move in second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. You having a hard time today? Okay. All right, motion carries. The complaint about the dogs. Where's my note? Dave already went down and took care of that. I think you have that's noted in your packet. So there's really nothing we have to do further, we really need to do about that. Anybody have any questions or?
I do have a concern. In this situation, typically our law enforcement would address the issue. Is there a reason why law enforcement wasn't brought in on this? And because Dave isn't actually law enforcement personnel.
Well, it doesn't have to be law enforcement to take care of that. The sheriff, we're probably not going to call the sheriff to come out and do those kind of things unless it's a serious thing. According to the ordinances, the mayor is responsible for those, or the mayor pro tem, or whoever, if we appoint someone to go out and do that. So it's not something that we have to call law enforcement. Now, if we're going to take the dog away, and put it away or have it put to sleep or something, that would be a different story. but just asked the people to chain the dog up, which is basically what they did. They agreed to take care of that. Any other questions or concerns?
I don't know, I just wonder if that's a good job for him to be doing.
Well,
but
I would have done it if I was here, but since I wasn't here, then he went out and did it.
I understand that you were out of town,
Yeah.
I just,
So that's not really under his job description, except he's the one that sometimes gets to deal with the dogs on a monthly basis. Whether he wants to or not, because of reading the meters.
sure.
Okay, so where are we? No, that was part of it. We need to set a hearing. I thought we'd done this, I don't know how, but it's something different. It is public hearing for the loan and disbursement agreement connected to water resource restoration project, all those kind of things. And we need to set that for next month, to get before our regular meeting. Then we have all those papers we get to fill out again. Has to be
Yeah.
published.
There's a method.
There it is.
We'd actually already done them once, I thought, but for every time that when they changed it, then now we got to do it again. But I would entertain a motion that we have a public hearing set for August the, okay. Here.
Just have a public hearing.
Resolution 16.7.18.1 to set a public hearing for August, what's the next meeting date on my calendar with me?
Should be 8.
August 8th.
August 8th. So could I entertain a motion for that, please?
I'll make a motion. Do whatever they.
Set the public hearing for that,
Set the hearing
that resolution.
for August 8th.
Okay?
I will second the motion for the public hearing
Yeah.
on August 8th.
Other discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. All right, motion carried.
And we will have someone at that meeting representing your company, correct, at that time?
We'll try to have Heather here.
Yeah.
Because I have tons of things to bring up.
Because this is the thing, that we've already filled out all these papers twice now for this one particular thing. Because this is for the sewer project, and this isn't for the road repair down there, which that's what I thought they wanted, but it's something else.
Well, I'm concerned because it sounds like in here that they're wanting us to refinance part of the note and take out more money in addition, but they
No.
haven't even given us a bill for the last one, or have we received that
See,
yet?
no, this is, the second one's not done. The first one is finished, it's done, it's already, what this is, you remember the beginning, we talked about up to $450,000.
That was the first one in 2013.
No, that's the second one. We did another one for the second one too. This is, now that we're approaching, we know what the final number is going to be. This is, take it, we're not taking, they have actually paid, we have actually paid an interest payment on this loan, even though we're not sure what it is yet. And so this is going to bring it down to the exact number what the final loan comes down to. That's what this one is for.
When are they gonna have us a bill? Because we really should be, I'd rather be paying an extra $4 now than be paying $12.
Well, we're gonna probably take care of that next month as part of the ordinance, as far as beginning that process of raising the
Because I'm
pay
concerned
for the
that,
second. The first payment's not gonna be due until next year. It's 12 months after they finish the project. And so we'll have time to get some money in as far as taking care of that. We're probably gonna have to increase it total about $12.
I knew that's what they had
And
said.
so we'll probably do it, I'd like to do it 6 months, $6 the first year, then $6 the next year, instead of taking it all at $12 all at once. But we can do it $12 all at once, I mean, we'll put that. But we'll have to, because that's by ordinance what the water rates are, so we'll have to change that to sewer rates.
So is this gonna be, if they're just now getting their final bill together for us, and they said the first payment isn't gonna be due for a year from what date? The date they started it, the date they give us the number?
The date it's done, and
The date.
this is finally processed.
So even, they're gonna have a number before they finish it?
They should have. I don't know exactly when that.
Because my concern is they're not giving us enough time to start building up enough revenue to pay this, because it's gotta come from our sewer fund, and from looking at our sewer fund balance, it's not gonna be pretty when time
Because
goes
we
around.
made the payments for this, for the first one, it's come out for this year, was it, what was it, June or July, we made that payment? June.
And we
So-
pay it annually?
Yes,
Annually.
annually. So that's one reason the sewer fund is like it is because we depleted most of it the
Okay.
first time.
Well, and I understand what you're saying, and then that makes me nervous, because I know we're already paying a big chunk of change for the first one, and then we got the second one coming in. And to me, the numbers almost, I mean, I guess I'd like to see some rough numbers on it pretty soon, because I'm very concerned about, you know, we've got, you know, other things that have to come from the sewer fund, other costs that have to come from that too, so.
Some of those things.
If there would be
Well,
nice
it's
if
a
they'd at least
separate-
give us an idea of what we're looking
Well,
at.
we can do that, have that by the next meeting. The way that it's supposed to work is that the special sewer assessments go into the sewer fund. A separate
Right, I know we
account.
have another account. I
Separate
saw
account
that.
just for that, and then the regular sewer ones go, we we have
For the
it,
extra
we
cost.
record it, like water, sewer, you know, and we keep a track of it in the files and the books, but it doesn't go in a different fund. We just have to keep track of it so that we know how much we've got in sewer and how much we have in water, and then so we pay those bills and it comes out of that. But it doesn't go into that sewer savings account, only the extra assessments go into that.
Okay. I don't know, there's a couple other things when I was reading over the resolution that, and I guess it seemed kind of funny, and that's where I think they're gonna need to explain some of it, because it almost seemed like they were talking about there's gonna be the third step already, and I didn't realize we were going to the third step yet.
We did the third step.
We already did the third step?
Yeah, we did it in 2 steps. In the beginning, it was going to be project 1, project 2, and project 3. So we finished project 1, but when we approved this one, we put 3 was the lagoon. That was step 3.
Okay, I guess I didn't realize it was step 3.
Yeah, so we put that in with step 2, because it was going to be so small, number, and we needed to do that now instead of waiting till we finished all this one, because it wouldn't have been able to start until next summer. So there is no step 3. There was in the beginning, but it was combined into just 2, step 1 and step 2.
Okay.
So it may say, but there's only 2 steps now.
I'll have more questions in the future. You
Well,
can count on
Well,
it.
Brian will have more answers for you, okay? All right. Mayor's report, couple of things. I talked with the sheriff's department. First, I was concerned we were going to have to redo our ordinance concerning policing. But I read through the ordinance, it goes all this stuff, and the very last thing says that the city can contract with the Wapello County Sheriff's Department if they so desire. And so that's already there, so we don't have to change that ordinance. We can leave it just like it is, which is good. But we will have to be changing the fire ordinance. It will be much shorter to incorporate the 28E agreement, as far as that goes. So that, we will have to work on that and get that changed. But as far as the policing goes, taking care of the law enforcement, we will not have to change that ordinance. I talked with Mr. Miller, and it will probably be September 1st before they get everything put together and finalized, and we can actually, that 2080 agreement, then that's when that particular contract will start. In the meantime, they will be through here more often than they normally are, just because of the situation. And I've seen them, other people, I've had 4 or 5 people comment about how many times they've seen their presence through here and stuff. So in the meantime, they will be just increasing their presence, but that officially won't start until September. And I'm pretty sure that the way it's going to work, that supervisors have to vote first, that they're going to buy our truck, and then they may pick that last payment would be as of September 1st, which I have to find out that number. And then the difference between what the truck, they buy it for, and the $10,000 we will apply towards our, the contract price that we agreed on, or however much that goes. So that's not cast in concrete until the supervisors actually vote on it, but that's the recommendation, that's the way they're gonna go. Because Eldon it's on board doing the same thing, Eldon had a truck. There's the 2013, it's a two-wheel drive, and they just put a brand new transmission in it, and it's a lot more miles than ours does, so they weren't too much interested in that one. But that's as far as where that is.
Have we been able to get our code book to the sheriff's department? Because I understand they would write tickets for the city if we had a code book to them, but I didn't know where code book ever got finished.
I've got to go down and talk to Area 15. There's 2 areas they got questions on. I go down and talk to Chris, not Matt, and that will be finished. And I talked to the if they write a ticket in the city for the city, let's say someone's speeding, and they want to process it through here, you know, they want to, we write so they can come pay the fine at the city hall. If someone contests that, and they want to contest and have a trial, then our city attorney will be required to prosecute that, not the county attorney. Which, if let's say you got a $55 ticket, it's going to cost us more than just having to pay it to the county. So that's the thing we'll have to look at in the beginning. But that's the issue with that. Now, if they write a ticket or something simple, that there's no problem with it.
Well, we should want them to write the tickets to the city because we have to pay the sheriff's department anyway.
Right, I understand.
So they need to be bringing in some sort of revenue.
Yeah, and that we're going to try to. It's just that we just need to understand that if there is something big that comes and they go to court, that we'll be responsible for the court costs as far as our attorney, as far as that goes.
Well, and I just want to comment that yes, we've seen them in town, but we already pay taxes to the sheriff's department. So we should see them in town.
Well, that's right, we should. And they've increased and they're going to be here. The part that goes to the sheriff's department isn't that large, but it will work out. We're going to have to do it. I'm not going to ask them to come out here and let's say serve a complaint on somebody because
but that's their job.
The music was too loud.
Well, that's their job.
That might be, but some of the small things I'll just take care of myself.
And I just want to comment, I did notice, I heard in the paper that they are not hiring anybody else for the sheriff's department. So I'm wondering how that's going to affect
They're
us.
transferring somebody that's already working, and they're going to get him qualified and certified as far as that goes, from one position to another, to be a deputy instead of what he's doing now. I believe now he's working in the jail. I don't know if this isn't concrete, but he's working someplace else, and then they're going to transfer him into that department.
I just feel like some smoke was blown over us on all this.
No. So and it'll be about 3 months before they can get somebody trained to do this. As far as the Hickory House, I talked to some people about how much we should ask, and I think that we're going to have to set an open house. We're going to set a price at we're going to ask like $28,500, and then we can negotiate from there. And we can do that.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
What do you guys have in that house? What do you think you're going to gain by selling that house?
The one in the front
Yeah,
on 310 Hickory.
yeah.
It's a pretty nice house. What we're going to gain is we're going to gain some extra money that we can do some other things within the city that need to be done. We can't afford to do.
Or if you just get another person living in it, it's just as junky as it is now.
Well, the problem is that house inside is really pretty nice. Nicer than I was surprised at how good it looked inside the 310 there. It can be, but I don't want to be in the rental business.
Well, what I guess I'm asking is how much did it cost you, this town, to acquire them 2
It
houses?
didn't cost us anything.
Well, except our attorney.
And why?
Well, a time and attorney fees,
We'll have to
yes.
have evaluate appraisals and things like that
Yeah.
done for the
Yeah.
legal part
I
of
mean,
it.
we will have legal fees as far as that goes into selling of it and different things.
Is there a chance if there is another, use for the property? Let's
Well,
say
no, I know
that-
what you're talking about. We'll get to that later. This is something completely different, okay? But that's where we're going with the house as far as that goes. Now, that's basically my report. Let's move on here to the RAGBRAI update. We'll get to what you're talking about later, okay? Yes?
We got everything set and ready to go. We have a total of 19 vendors, 7 local, 12 out of towners. We have our DJ set up from 8 to 11. He's gonna be on the bandstand. I did talk 2 hours with Sheriff Miller last week, and they're supposed to be here. They are gonna shut everything down at 5 o'clock.
Right.
So, I mean, he was very adamant about that, because I guess they're on all law enforcement saying, no stragglers, 5 o'clock, shut down and gone. And then me and Dave went through and marked the streets and got everything, ready and numbered where everybody's gonna go, so hopefully it'll go pretty smooth.
Yeah, they're gonna have a posse that goes with the RAGBRAI that starts at the county line and goes all the way to the other, whether they finish.
Robert, is there a map showing us where we'll be in the park for each unit that's coming in, huh?
Yeah,
Then
the
they're
dates, we just did that today, we got it drawn up, we're gonna have it to where, Donna's also gonna be here to help, I won't be here. They're going to, we're gonna number them, and then when they come in, saying your number. We're not gonna have too many in the park, because RAGBRAI tried to say they wanted to keep as many people out of the park, because that's the rest area for the bikers and stuff, so,
We're gonna be on the streets.
yeah.
As far as
But
that.
we've kept a couple extra spots just in case, but like I said, we pretty much put everybody down this one side. And then a few of our locals that are not using their own property and stuff will be up front of the park.
Okay.
Yes, we do have a map.
Yeah.
And we already amended the minutes, so we're up to, anybody have any old business?
Couple of things. Will we need to request ahead of time from the sheriff's department presence for the farm carnival? I know a lot of times they'll block streets and stuff with parade, but
Yeah, they will be
available
here,
that day.
no, I talked to them already about that, they'll be here, do what they normally do, but then they will have somebody here throughout the day to make sure, probably more than one person, you know, but they'll have a split shift or something, there will be somebody here.
And have we received a copy of the liability insurance from the fire department so we can remove them from the
I do not believe we
insurance?
received that yet, have we?
No.
I didn't know that we received it yet, so that's something that, we'll let our liaison back to the board tell them they need to get us.
That's all I got right now.
I know that they paid the payment, I believe, that because it was due the first part of July, if I remember right. Anything else? Any new business? I understand. We sent out that little letter, which I thought just as information. We're going to do that on a more frequent basis about different things, talking about some of the ordinances that some people may not be aware of, like a building permit required, leash law, some of the other things that they go just as information, what's going on as far as those things. We do not have an ordinance that says you can't blow your grass into the street. We are going to put one in that you can't blow your grass into the street on Main Street and State Street from blocks, because those are the ones that have the storm sewers. And that's the problem with it. If you blow it into the street on the storm sewers and you get in it blocks the grates and all that kind of stuff. But otherwise, it's just courtesy to not do it on the other streets. But the two streets, so that's something we will be working on, I think, as we don't want our storm sewers to get clogged any more than they do now. Because sometimes they do get clogged, especially up here under the bridge. Even that one down there by my house, I have to go out and pull out debris and stuff. Sometimes it gets clogged there. So, but that's the purpose of the letter. Just now, I did not write when we talked about cars and stuff like that. Not any one particular. Well, I won't say that. I don't know. There are a couple places that I had in mind when I brought that up, but it wasn't intended for anyone in particular. It's just information, and we can. As far as that goes. We're not trying to hamper anybody's business, but there are some things that have to be done if you're going to do some of that stuff. And what happened, we'd like to make the city look a little bit nicer than it does sometimes. The second thing, I think some of you may hear me talk about the property down by the ball field. Now, the plan is that we talked about since the beginning when we acquired the property, is that the city's gonna sell the house on Hickory Street. It'll be 110 feet wide and 120 foot, 22 feet deep. That goes back deep about to where that first telephone pole is there behind the house. That's about where that stops. And it goes to about, the telephone pole is up by the garage. So, maybe not, well, about 10 feet, 5 or 6 feet beyond the garage. It's just, it has to be at least 5 feet from the garage, according to the ordinance. So that's the section out that we're going to sell. The rest of that property, the plan is to let the Little League develop that. There should be plenty of room for a driveway and some parking along that, the Hickory Street side and then back. And then the other house is going to go away. The fire department has said that they might be interested in burning it down as a practice. But
Yeah, but we don't need that eyesore for another 3 years.
no, so if we can get that taken care of in a different manner, but that's the plan, and then let the Little League take that, and the fence that they're not using, they can make it a T-ball field or a practice field or something. That's the intent of what we want to do.
Okay, who, if I can speak,
Yes.
is it the board that decided they was gonna get in the realty business and try to sell that house to make money? Is it the board? Are you guys the ones that made that decision?
Yes, we're the ones that talked about that, decided to do that, yes.
Well, what if, like, to me, the Little League parks look, or that park looks as nice as, if not better than the park uptown. I built ball diamonds at Eddyville.
Right.
3 ball diamonds, a big place on the north side of Eddyville. I've lived here 3 years now, but for one thing, I thought if you're gonna send them letters out, you guys should sure, if that property's yours now, you should have sure cleaned it up first. That's kind of a slap in people's face as far as if they got that letter. I realize you're not saying that letter means anything, but you kind of waste your time sending it out. And
Well, I understand, it's, the house and the garage is probably the nicest garage in town.
is there water hooked up to that?
There's
There's
sewer,
Not water.
but the water's not. So whoever buys it will be required to operate, to hook onto the city water. There's water going back to that other house. So there is water, like the one you said at the ball field, there's water already going all the way back there.
There's water hookup available.
Yes.
Well, what if I had some of the ball field people here, but they had a game they had to get to at 8 o'clock. What are you looking to make on that? What if were you gonna donate that old house that burnt to them, that area? And let them
Yes.
clean it
Ball
up?
field.
Yeah.
Now, I occurred tonight that someone might be interested in tearing that down at no charge and getting that project started. And if that's the case, I don't know that I have a problem with that.
Well, I think the ball parents and people that go there, they've had Albion kids playing down there too this year. I think they'd like to get it gone just for
Well,
the eyesore.
Yeah. And
My
that's,
opinion, yeah, and safety, a lot of kids run out.
Right.
My opinion is, we live down in 310 East South Street. So yeah, it's an eyesore, and I brought us getting over home, cleaned up a bunch of brush that was next to Jane's
Right.
and piled over there by the house. If the fire department's busy, I'll gladly burn that and they can come out and watch it, or
Well, you have to be careful because there are laws in effect that prevent you from burning buildings, as in with the EPA, or not, that's not the words I'm looking for.
yeah. I felt the harm in Dennyville too, where there's a ton of laws to get around through
Yeah.
the
What
Corps of Engineers.
I guess our frustration is, it's already been 3 years, how much longer is it gonna be?
Well, we
Like I
had
said, we've already dozed it for my mom, because my mom shouldn't be looking at that stuff, her property's decent. Now that the city owns it, how long is it gonna look like it is before something happens with it?
we have
You know?
only owned it for less than 6 months.
Yeah.
Well, 6 months, it has never
I
been
mean, I'm
mowed.
trying to think if it's been that long.
Nothing has happened to it in 6 months.
Well, our
Yeah.
tractor's been down for 3 months.
It
We
may have
still
been in
haven't got it
March
back
that we
yet, so
actually-
But you guys are
figure it
giving
out
us
for ourselves.
excuses, but then you expect the people of this community to keep their properties pristine or whatever. See what I'm saying? It's kind of an aggravation. I know.
Okay,
it's
how
not-
much money, if the ball parents if they would be willing to clean up that house, smash it in, whatever, it'd be nice to burn it. And I think the fire department could help with that, but they're pretty busy, I imagine, so I don't know how long that takes.
I don't have a,
Yeah.
I don't have a-
Liability issues.
Probably have to look into the reality of it,
Because I know that's what we were waiting on the rest of it, is we had to give the prior owner so much time, and even though we processed everything, we had to wait for all the legality of this amount of time has to pass and this and that. So this is recently,
Okay, again though, but he just said 6 months.
And well,
6
it was
months
March, I
hasn't
think it
been
was
long.
March when, the papers on my desk, but I think it was in March when we actually got the deed to the property. So we haven't had it that long. It's been an eyesore longer than that. I'll tell you this, if you would like to, I know Jason Myers is involved,
Yeah.
he's kind of involved with the
Yeah.
ball diamond, that kind of stuff. He's also on the fire department.
Yeah.
If you would want to talk with him and get something going as far as getting it taken care of,
can
Probably
I
not
interject
tomorrow.
here? I do have a problem with that because Jason is not the fire chief.
Okay.
Jimmy would
Yeah.
probably be the better person
Yeah,
to
that's
step in
fine.
and
Okay,
talk
well,
to Jimmy.
yeah.
Yeah, I'd gladly talk to anybody.
I mean, I don't care who you talk to, but I mean, somebody, if you would just get with them and maybe you can work out a schedule that something happens in the near future. I mean,
Okay, I can do that with the fire department, that's fine, but here's the next question. Now, if a few of us had talked, and it would be nice to build another diamond, basically they'd be back to back. Well, you'd have a full diamond there where kids could practice, because now kids don't really have anywhere to
Right, I
practice.
understand that.
And, you know, I started out in Eddyville building one diamond, we ended up with 3, and the kids use them. If you build them, they're gonna use them. That's one thing about
Right.
the parents in the community, maybe not the town per se, but the community, all use that and all take care of it. And, you know, they put some money together on them lights to make it nice. But if that would clean up, and I looked at that ditch, I do a lot of dirt work, I think that ditch could be filled in. It's silted in the middle already between the between the ball diamond and the burnt house.
Right.
But what would the city be, whoever buys it's gonna have to put water in, what would the city be willing to take for that property to make that the parking area?
We'll probably have to take bids based on our expenses, wouldn't we?
Well, we don't have to take bids. I got asked about that since it's anything but real estate, we have to take we have to take sealed bids. But if it's real estate, you can decide to do whatever you want to, if you just have to publicize it and whatever that goes. I don't
Well,
have
would it
that.
be in the city's interest to not be dealing with real estate
Well,
and give it to somebody that's gonna take care of it
I understand that.
and let them pay your legal fees?
I don't have a number for that number right now. We can talk about and discuss it. I can figure out where we are as far as right now, what we have.
If,
The legal fee, because we do have legal fees because of what Heather did
Yeah.
to go through that foreclosure and all, and get that property and to get it. So I don't know what those are.
I'd be willing to entertain the idea if we could get some information together, present it to the council, so we can vote on the best decision
Yeah,
for the city
I mean-
to do.
Bill?
Yes.
Okay, so when you get that to the ball parents, hon, will that be a quick claim deed going over
Yes.
to the ball parents? Or
Do
will
you
the
guys
property
have an
remain?
organization, or what is it called?
Yeah, they have an ordinance.
Blakesburg.
But will
Little
it
League?
still remain
Yeah.
city property?
No, it wouldn't.
Because the
It
ball
would-
diamond is city property.
It'll be just under the same umbrella that it is now. Don't we have a 25-year lease that we signed with you
Yeah.
guys last
Yeah.
year or
The
something?
school board sold it to the
It
city
would-
for about $2.
It would be transferred underneath that umbrella.
Yeah.
But the property itself will still be city property.
Basically, if the ball field is city property, if that's what's.
That will be
that's-
city property
So
still.
really, there wouldn't be anything changing hands.
No.
They could pay you for your expenses.
Right.
Just
Yeah,
look,
Just as it is
Nice.
today.
let's see what we can do and look into that, getting some numbers, like Cindy said, and then we'll talk, we can go from there.
Because I'm not sure, but isn't there like
We really-
taxes and stuff that might, if they're gonna
Well,
sell,
this
we
is the
have to
thing,
look into.
if the
too.
city gets rid of it, if we sell it,
it wouldn't be sold because it's
no,
still
if we
loan
sell
deal.
it, the owner, whoever buys it has to pay the back taxes on it. If it maintains it like we do it to you, that the city is still city property, then those taxes would not have to be paid. But if it changes hands, then yeah, they would be required to pay it.
Well, I'm
So,
just saying, I think if the city's trying to clean up and make things look nicer, I know the parents are out there all the time mowing, seeding.
It's been a lot of work
Working on that.
lately.
Well, I know they've got-
I understand where you're coming
Build
from,
ball
because it's
diamonds.
actually a safety hazard, it needs to
It
be
is.
dealt with, and our insurance company is concerned about that too, so we do. need
Well,
to
if they had 2 diamonds back to back, that'd just be a nice parking spot.
we need
Because
the
it is gonna
parking.
be tight for parking.
Well, okay.
There's times you cannot drive up
Well, I
Adams
know,
Road
I know.
and East Street, huh? Because we got cars parked on both sides, and we got children running around. We need more parking there, and it would make a nice parking spot
Well,
too,
that's-
besides ball
We
field.
we'll talk about that in the sort of, I mean, as far as the property in the front, the 310 Hickory, that house, I don't want to keep it. I don't want to rent it. You know, I'd like to not have to worry about it. So the first thing comes to mind is let's sell it, let somebody else do it, you know. But this might be something we could work
But
out.
then we're working on legal fees.
We have to recoup our expenses on this,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
So some way, whatever we would have to be able to get,
Well, see, we would have, as parents, we would have Chad Leffler, we'd have access to all of his track hose, his dump trucks. We could tear them down and haul them to the landfill. The city wouldn't have to pay for that.
well, let me
That's just, I wanted to.
Let me
put that to-
get some, what we have into it financially, because I'm not exactly sure right now.
And we can't vote on it tonight because.
No, that's fine. I just-
But it's something we can start looking at, and it'd be nice to be able to get something so that you could maybe get it torn down before
Before winter.
snow.
Yeah.
So that next spring, it could be,
Really, I was hoping before Fall Festival, guys, come on.
well, but,
Saturday.
that might be, that
We're
might
calling
be
to the
possible, but it might
landfill,
not be.
23rd.
No, that's just, I want
Yeah.
to bring that up. To me, it makes,
And we have people interested in helping do it too, so it's kind of,
I'll try to get something together, and we'll talk about it, okay?
okay.
Bill?
Yes, sir?
Yeah, in addition to that, I'd like to add, we got RAGBRAI next week. And we got the bandstand. The city really isn't prepared right now, not looking very good.
We have the materials to fix the front of the
Yeah, and it's
bandstand.
the, he
All right,
came as
well,
well.
let me ask you also, we're trying to present a good looking community. We got 3 burnt houses. We got the lot next to the Methodist church down there that's never been cleaned. I mean, it still looks terrible. And some other things that need to be done. Are we gonna be able to?
We're not going to get all those things done that really everybody would like to have done before RAGBRAI.
It's, you know, some of those things have been years. I mean, a couple of years. The houses, the burn houses have it, of course, but.
Yeah, and there are some, as far as, like, say this house is just burnt over here. And what I'd like to do is bring somebody in to bulldozer and take care of it all tomorrow. We can't do that. That would be my desire, but we cannot do that. And there's a process that you have to go through. If you're going to condemn a house, it's about a 9-month to a 12-month process to go through all that. Should it be that long? In some senses, I understand, but in some ways, it's like, there should be, but yeah, there's some of those things we do need to deal with. Yes?
But how long are you gonna give them to get them fixed? Like they said, this house has been sitting 3 years burnt.
Yeah.
Are the other,
Well-
the 3 recent ones gonna sit 3 years too?
No,
So should we get something with the process?
we are in the process, okay? Trying to get some of that stuff taken care of.
Is there anything that says that some of us private individuals can't go in and mow some of this stuff that needs mowed?
Why?
Or help get rid of weeds and brush on
You mean that?
the city property?
I don't know.
Maybe
Volunteer.
safety problems.
Dave's gonna take care of the one at the house, but our tractor's been down. Everyone knows we voted on it last month just to get it
I
fixed.
was
and it
just
hasn't
talking
got
about
over.
parsonage on and Mildred
Well, I'm
Grant,
just saying, as
that
far
city
as
piece.
that.
You mean, or me over there next to.
Where we took the old
the
trailer
church?
out.
Yeah.
There's
that,
no reason we
Dave mowed it
couldn't-
once with the brush cutter, but it's,
Isn't there a bunch of junk there too that still needs to go?
most of this junk is gone. There's
I
one
don't
big piece
know,
of
hon.
slab of concrete
Is
that
it?
needs to be, that's on the driveway that has to be slid someplace. But most of the junk is gone, maybe some small stumps and things, but most of the other stuff.
We did the letter to give everybody heads up. We're gonna make the list. They're gonna receive separate letters stating you have 30 to 60 days to get your mess cleaned up. After that, you'll be fine according to our ordinance.
Yeah, and then,
That was the whole purpose of getting the letter, giving everybody heads up, saying this is what we're going to proceed to do, you know.
I have a hand back here first, Mike.
I just got a quick question about this whole ordinance cleaning up.
Yeah.
Rumor has it we have a street sweeper. Nobody can find a street sweeper.
No.
We got RAGBRAI coming in my eyes, there's a safety hazard with all the dirt.
Well, we're gonna work on that, and but we do have a street sweeper that's been here since, we used to be in the basement of this building. And it doesn't run, it doesn't work, and from what I've been told, the people who use it said that it doesn't do anything but throw dust. brushes the dust off of where you are and throws it every place else. So it's, but we are gonna run down State Street here on both sides and clean up some of this sand and gravel and dirt and stuff that's in the gutter. before
And
RAGBRAI
we
gets
need
here.
that big piece down on the Sanford property filled in with rock. Just past your house on the other side, that's full of water.
Oh, you mean the South
the
Creek
county.
Road?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. we
Boy,
put-
that's really deep.
Dave dumped that whole, we put, what, 2 dump truck loads of gravel on there before, but it's.
Up at the south end, but as you come north, it's still real deep.
You're talking about at the intersection of Main Street and
Yeah,
South.
yeah,
East
just
edge
keep
of the front.
Yeah.
keep coming to the north, and we need a lot more rock dumped right along that edge,
Yeah, it's,
so.
the trucks, I wish when they built that intersection, they'd made it wider on both directions.
Yes.
Because I feel sorry for the coops, because every time they get that filled in, someone comes in with all 16 of the wheels rolling through their rod and tearing it up again. It's just,
And the same thing as they come
same
around.
thing, they
into
come around there and
Sanders.
trying to buy George's house and the
Yes.
whole thing that they, yes. We have plans to work on getting some of that stuff done, taken care of before RAGBRAI. It will not be perfect, but we got the stuff to fix the front of the grandstand, so that will look. We did the 2 sides 2 years ago. Now we got to get stuff to do the front. And we'll get a project to get that taken care of. Is there any other new business? Oh, yes, Mike, sorry.
So if the fire department goes through the proper channels for that house, will the city give us an exempt burn permit since we do have a burn and it's in time to burn it?
If that's
We
what
don't wanna
it
go
takes,
through all the work and
if
then.
that's what it takes to get it done, I
Permit.
think that we could say that we would give you a permit to do that.
Okay.
Would you agree to that?
I haven't think of it, I'm not sure, can I vote on that one?
We're not gonna vote on it.
Yeah, there's a monetary value.
Okay, well,
All right, if there's nothing else, and I hope there's not, I would entertain a motion
You
to adjourn.
voted to.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Yes.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Motion carries, meeting's adjourned. Thank you.